guys, welcome back to Release the Craftin. Priscilla here with another edition of Moth and the Scratic, which is a scrap busting ephemera making challenge hosted by me, here, on Release the Craftin. I hope you guys are enjoying this month-long challenge. We are now officially in the last final stretch. That was actually yesterday's video, but I was distraught yesterday. So today, I am talking about it, how we are in the last 10 prompts. I guess officially this would be the last of the 10 because there's 31 days, not 30, in January. So yeah, this is the final countdown. Thank you for that, always being forever in my head. But yeah, you guys, we're coming up to the end of it, and I only have a couple more days left to make fun stuff and use up all these scraps. And I'm telling you guys, I have been enjoying the process and the road so far. The journey has been really fun, creatively and just like sort of visually, because I've been enjoying the stuff that you guys have been making. I have been eating well, definitely getting a heaping dose of inspiration and some new ideas I am definitely going to be applying going forward. You guys let me know. How are you feeling? Are you feeling inspired? Are you getting lots of ideas on how to use up your scraps? Because I know I am. And I also know, looking at my box of scraps as I am doing this voiceover, that I will be doing scrap busting stuff for quite a while, because I would really like to make a visible dent in that box, and I don't feel that I have. But who knows, maybe we'll check and see by the end of it how we've done and how I feel about the dent in my scrappage. Although, like, let's be fair, as crafters, we're never really gonna make a dent in the scrappage, right? Like, that's scrappy. Oh my god, I can't even say my own words. Words are so hard. That scratic is always going to be a little bit full, whether we like it or not. But, like, hey, at least we made some room for some new things, right? So yeah, the prompt today is circles. As you guys can see, I am utilizing all parts of the circle. The circle, the semicircle, well, not the quarter circle. What is the word for a quarter of a circle? A wedge? It's not a demicircle. Although that's what my brain says, semi and then demi, but that's not true. So yeah, the cool thing about this is that I'm going to make this little flip out pop-up. It's a very, very simple pop-up. Don't run away. I know I said pop-up, and you guys are like, pop-ups are really hard, even though I keep telling you how simple they can be, and nobody believes me, but this time we are making a very simple pop-up. Like, just watch. We're going to fold it once, and then twice, and then bada bing, bada boom, we're done. And I'm going to use some of my bigger moths for this, which is exciting. I am a little bit sad that I don't have a bigger circle die or a bigger die cutting machine that will cut a bigger circle, because I have some really big moths I really would like to use by the end of this challenge. I gotta figure it out. I will figure it out, because I want to use these giant moths for something. I have a feeling I'm going to have to cut them apart, but we're going to make it happen, Captain. So yeah, I'm getting to use some of my bigger moths here because I'm going to make this little fold-out, pop-up semicircle tag, which is a tag shape I don't usually make because it's not actually a tag shape. It's more of a card shape, I guess. I don't know. I don't see a lot of people making circle tags, and then making them semicircles is also not a thing I see very often. I've seen a couple of those, like, circle pockets with, like, maybe something circular inside, but usually it's something tag shaped inside, but it's a circle pocket. I've seen that a lot. I don't know. You guys tell me. You've seen a lot of circles used in crafting. I don't think we use them enough. I think we use them as decorations and as backgrounds and helicopter, plane. Oh, that's a plane. I don't know why I thought it was a helicopter. I know what helicopters sound like. It's just so loud. So at any rate, yeah, I just don't think we use them as, like, the bases often enough. And I'm thinking about it. I've made circle journals twice. Once I did on Patreon, we did a full moon series with the full moons that I made for Mini Magic. We did, the journal with the printables there. So if you ever wanted to know how to make a circular journal, that would be the place to go. Although I think I would like to make a semicircle journal that, like, opens up like this does into full circle pages. That's something to explore. That's a concept. Somebody write that down and then remind me that I said I wanted to do that. Because I won't remember, and I'm not writing anything down right now. So at any rate, because the prompt is circle and I'm making the circle pop up, I'm trying to talk about what I'm making and I can't. It's so hard for me, guys. I hope that you don't mind. I have decided to make not just like a pop-up thing because I felt like that's cool on its own and it would be fine. Like I could just decorate the front and be done with it. But then I was like, what if you make like a swiveling circular option as well and utilize a brad for once in your life? And yeah, because I have them. Also, I'm gonna say this craft paper is from a different company than I normally get it from, and it is like weirdly resistant to the ink in a way that like made me very upset because everything else looks so cool, and I had to like keep applying color to it to get it to work. I don't know what's on the coating of this paper, but it was like, no, I will not pick up any distress ink or do anything interesting. It stuck. It didn't come off, but like it just wasn't picking it up, which is weird. So at any rate, yeah, so we're going to make a little swinging option as well, which is why we're making a separate cover piece so that I can stick the brad through that and not through the circle that is the main part of the tag. That's the whole reason we're doing this. And then I thought it would be fun to bust out my laminator, so we're going to do that too. Because I don't use it very often, and then I try to be like really careful about what I'm doing with it because I don't want to waste the plastic because it's plastic. Although I ended up with a scrap piece that I now have to figure out what to do with afterwards, but don't worry, it'll make great backgrounds for like specimen cards and film strip stuff, so it'll get used. That one I'm not worried about. Because I don't like to waste plastic. So yeah, so we're gonna decorate this up. I don't have anything to say. I have nothing to say. I really thought about jumping back in here with more facts, but I was like, what are you going to do? The fact of the circle? Like, circle facts are not interesting. And as I am doing this voiceover, I realize now I could have just done moth facts. Moth facts would have been fun. And maybe I will do that at a different point, but I'm not going to make every video a fact video. That's so silly. And also lazy. It is the neurodivergent way that I want to avoid having to voice over my videos is just by being like, did you know the interesting thing about moths is? And I could just talk about that forever instead of actually talking to you guys, which is what I like to do. I like to do it. Don't get me wrong. But when I'm doing a lot of these voiceovers back to back, I run out of things to talk about. And then I either have to go walk away and come back with new things to talk about, or I have to do what I'm doing now, which is just vamp and spitball until I get to something I can talk about. Oh, what I will say, now that I'm looking at myself doing this lamination thing, the Tim Holtz, the Ranger alcohol inks, like, they work perfectly fine. They're great. They do exactly what I wanted them to do. The Barely Art inks are slightly different in their alcohol variety, and I kind of regret making this choice, but not completely. But they would not, like, it wouldn't dissolve into the plastic. Like, it wouldn't cool out. It was just floating on top of the surface, which I thought was really weird and interesting because I've never seen that before when I do this. I've done this technique before with, like, alcohol inks and gilding flakes on lamination, and I'm used to it drying, but it just, like, sort of beat it up and rolled around the surface, which I've never seen an alcohol ink do before. So there is something slightly different in their formulation than I've seen with other alcohol inks. And so I smushed it together and sort of Rorschached it, which worked to get it to dry, but isn't actually what I wanted because a lot of the stuff that's in here is a little bit obscured by the ink now. It's still visible because it is translucent or transparent, but you know, it's not as visible as I would prefer because there's a lot of that ink in there. Also, there was still some that was wet and I couldn't tell looking at it. So the back of this laminate didn't seal because it was steaming off alcohol ink, which I can only imagine is going to at one point impact my future lamination projects because it's building up inside of this machine now. I didn't realize it was still wet. But, you know, c'est la vie. It is what it is. This is a $20 laminator. I'm not worried about it dying. I mean, I don't want to have to replace it, but you know what I mean? Like, if I have to, I'm not going to be bereft. It would be cool to get, like, one of those ones that's like the food saver bag where it, like, has the lamination sheet on a roll inside. But then, like, how would I do that? How does it work? I don't know. There's some sort of intelligent design here that I can't foresee because I'm not an inventor. At any rate, this is the most complicated way to cut this shape out. Don't do this. just trace it onto the paper, onto the laminate with a marker and cut it out. It was so fiddly. But I could not, like, conceptualize the best way to do this without doing double work. So I was like, no, it's okay. Just stick it down and then trim off whatever you need to. So, I mean, it works. It got the job done. I got exactly what I needed. But I did have to go make some creative edits. And one piece is a little bit wonky because my hand was wonky. But all in all, I am happy with how these came out. I do wish I hadn't smushed it together and just sort of dabbed it off because on one of them you can see the leaf really well. On the other ones you have to like really look to see it. You can see it when you like flip it out, but when it's on top of the paper you can't see it, which I guess like it's fine. It doesn't really ruin anything. It's still in there. These leaves are oak leaves that I had collected and pressed a long time ago and had them smushed into a book and forgot about because as I told you guys in the previous video about Doom boxes, Doom books also exist. So I keep doing that where I keep pressing leaves into the pages of books and then I forget about them. Leaves, flowers, all sorts of stuff until I go open that book to like salvage it for some junk journal related thing. And then I'm like, oh, oh, did you know that you saved these leaves? I did it. And what happened was I took these leaves and I stuck them into my little bin that I have on my desk for like my project bin so that I could pull from it later and then forgot about it until they were at the bottom of the pile because I didn't put them in like a baggie or anything protective. Why would I do that? That's crazy. So they were at the bottom of the pile and they were coming out the side of the little bin like in pieces and I was like, oh no, you had dried foliage in here and totally forgot about it. So again, Doom boxes. Even this bin that's on my desk for me to use has a Doom box quality if I cannot see the item. Because I forgot all about them. So that's why they ended up in this project. So that I would use them and they would quit getting destroyed in the bottom of that bin. What I will say here, at this point in the project, you can't see it yet, but you will. If you're going to replicate this project, make sure that you measure out where the center of your circle is. That's crucial. That is important. If you want it to look like a circle when it flips out, you need to make sure that you're measuring the dead center of the circle. I didn't. I eyeballed it, and in one case, eyeballed it poorly. I don't know if I was just like rushing to get it done or I just had 0 Fs to give. That one's probably more likely. But yeah, I didn't do it in the center, and I will be baffled by it for a good solid minute when I see it happen, when I roll it out. So give it a second, because there's a moment here where I don't understand what's happening. And I'm confused as to why they're off-center. Here we go. Yep, there it is. Confused. And I'm like, maybe it's because I glued it down a little bit off. But nope, this one, way off. It's because, yep, see, there I figured it out. Because the brad is way off-center. So now it's just become sort of an artistic representation of a circle. I guess we could argue that it's like an interesting introspection on the bilateral nature of human design or some sort of BS like that. But yeah, be more careful to make sure that your brad is at the dead center if you want it to make a perfect circle. If you don't, feel free to put it wherever the heck you want. You're going to get an interesting shape of offset semicircles, which is cool too, but was not what I planned to do when I started this. You'll see that I also didn't put any glue around the brad. The little tines, because I'm going to cut that little butt off when it pokes out the side. So I wanted it to turn so that I could see where the little piece poked out, and then I'm going to chop it off in a little bit. And then I'm just going to decorate this up because I was like, okay, well, I like the leaf and the leaf is cool, but it's not giving. So I was like, you know what would be fun is to have a moth on here that, like, no matter which direction you turn this is still doing moth business because, you know, they fly in all directions. So now it's flying in all directions on our little piece. Ta-da! And you can still see the leaf back there. You can see it now as we're looking at it. I know I cover up a big chunk of it, and my heart is a little bit like, this leaf. But the leaf has seen better days, and it's still visible. It's a tag. It's floating. You can see it from the other side. So yeah, so here, I'm just sort of manipulating the piece that is sticking out so that I can cut it off. And using my good jewelry making pliers in a way that's definitely not going to dull them down in any way, shape, or form. It's okay, they weren't expensive either. And then I was like, you know what, this needs a word. Because I always need words to make it feel like it's a completed living piece. If it doesn't feel like alive without a word on it or a phrase or something. So I just grabbed some clippings and I'm going to slap those down too. And then I'm going to remind myself that it takes longer for this to dry on plastic than it does on paper, but it does dry. And some of you may have noticed, if you were keenly observing, that one of these words ends up in a different place because I realized it was upside down. The card on the inside was upside down, and that made me mad. Which, like, it shouldn't matter because it spins and it could be any direction, but it mattered in my soul. And there, little pop-up guy. Not even a complicated pop-up, not a big pop-up, but he pops up a little bit. There's a little dimensionality to him here. And you can journal on that little extra piece, and then you have a fun interactive thing. Bada bing, bada boom, we've done circles. So yeah, that's it for me, you guys. Come back and see what we do for Moths in the Scratic. That's hashtag Moths in the Scratic. Check out the playlist in the description box below. And until then, guys, I appreciate your faces and happy crafting, and goodbye.